Look at that dumpy.
Yes.
Don't be jealous.
Who? Him?
Yes.
Understandable.
Yes. I don't have an ass, so like you have to be jealous of others.
This is true. I was told that I run funny because I have a big ass.
True.
Ooh.
It gets in the way.
I don't know. I think just people are dumb. Anyways, welcome back to the dimecomicbros podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Collin, joined by Jacob.
Hello.
And Spencer.
Dump truck man. I am a dump truck. You are a double wide.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
We are here to talk about Ghost Fleet, written by Donny Cates and arted by Collin's dad himself, Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yes.
So this is the whole goddamned thing. It's the complete edition. Yeah, so this is 8 issues. It was supposed to originally be 12.
Pretty sure it's 9.
Might be 9. It got cut really short at the end, and there's a big note at the end of talking about it.
I didn't read that. Because I was really pissed off with that after reading this.
So I think I have a prediction. I think all three of us are going to have different takes on this. I think it's going to be a sliding scale.
Interesting. Collin should start with his hot take.
So as much as I love the art in this, I think the story is like a big pile of dog shit. And that the end of it should have been the book itself, and this whole beginning should have been like the lead up to like what happened to this world, and the ending was actually more interesting. I would have rather seen apocalyptic world than the bullshit that I saw.
Intriguing.
I think the thing, I get what you're saying, but I think my biggest difficulty reading the story is more so that I have to spend the first like 6 issues just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and not in a good way.
No.
Just in like you started like in media res for no reason when you could have just told this linearly and I would have been able to follow. So by the time you hit like this, like the stride kind of in the middle, and it's like, then it immediately starts plummeting towards the end because they ran out of issues and they got canceled. So they had to like wrap it up really fast. Whereas definitely the latter half is more interesting like, story wise. It just kind of has to spin its wheels in the meantime while it tries to relay information that we don't know yet.
Jacob.
It's just tough because they went into this expecting to be able to have the time to tell the story. So, yeah, it probably could have used some more polish up front. But how much of... so many of our critiques can be countered with, well, they ran out of time, they got axed. So it's really tough to tell what it was supposed to be.
To an extent, I would agree, but I also think this was earlier in Donny Cates' career, and him and Scott Snyder have kind of a similar thing in their writing, whereas their characters don't feel very distinct, like voice-wise, and there's a lot of exposition.
So this book or this story goes for a lot of vibes and tries to reproduce them. You've got some Mad Max in here. You've got some like Escape from New York or like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
What else do you have?
I definitely think those are the big ones. You can see the influences written all over, and that's fine. It just doesn't really use them that much. It feels like every few pages switches tone.
The vibes are
it doesn't coalesce.
The vibes are cool and all, but like it was kind of, I felt like it was a shitty way of you trying to use the Horsemen of the Apocalypse and to make a whole apocalypse and everything. No, I backtrack. I would have been cool with stuff like that. I always love Horsemen and apocalyptic stuff, but it felt like it almost didn't know what it was trying to do. Like what the thing inside the truck was.
Yeah.
It didn't know what it was going to do. And then we hear, oh, horseman, oh, I'm a demon. It's like, okay, sure, you kind of had a setup with a secret society, but also a secret society could literally mean anything. I don't see any Christian lore. I don't see any Christian influence. I just see secret society that looks like could be anything.
I agree with that. It feels like they kind of set up the mystery box and then they've said, crap, we don't actually know what's in it yet, so we have to figure that out while we like make the issues. And that's not always the worst thing in the world, but just
No.
it plants seeds of some ideas, which I think some of the notes in the back about what they were planning on doing kind of lay those out a little bit more. But yeah, like I think the whole congrats, you're being like possessed by a horseman thing is pretty cool. And then he kind of fights the Antichrist, sort of, but like. Yeah, it's I had no idea what the fuck was inside the box.
But
by the time they get to it, it's like,
but then it turned out that they probably killed the good guy that was trying to stop the bad guy.
yeah, that moment hit really weird. And it's like the end. It's like, oh shit, well, we did the bad thing. And then it's just a bunch of like bait for something that we're never gonna see.
That could have been
Right.
cool if they did this actually is the good guy type of thing, but nowhere in this book was there any inkling of this guy could have been actually the good guy in a way, or like the society actually doing quote good, or like trying to stop the apocalypse. It just seemed like big bad guys who do old white man orgies.
Yeah,
you know?
if I was gonna structure it that way, I like false endings and whatnot. That's fine. It feels like that's something you would do in the middle of the book. Like that's like
Mhm.
your darkest hour of like, oh shit, we were moving in the wrong direction, literally, or like at least the beginning of the third act, not like 4 pages away from the ending.
No, I was actually like, oh, this is going somewhere, and then I looked at how thin my book was getting, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
And then I started reading more. I was like, come the fuck on. I mean, at least there was
I
like
have-
these little like the little paragraphs of like what happened to them eventually. I'm like, what the fuck? I would have loved to see all that shit.
I have a couple positives though. We thought Do a Power Bomb was violent and gruesome, but that's got nothing on the artwork in this book.
yeah.
There
This
are
is
some pretty amazing frames, in this
especially as
book.
I think it's his third series. It was his first like big large publisher one. It is off the fucking chain, and I really appreciate it. I like. I don't know. It seems like it's a nice translation of his style. Whereas this isn't necessarily a negative. I think he's gotten more homogenized as his books go on, and I don't have an issue with that because I like the style he's kind of settled on. But I really like this feels even more like weird pencil scratchy demon drawings on the wall than his usual stuff. And I think it fits well.
Which I like that stuff a lot. But before we fully go into like, let's talk about the good stuff. There's one thing I also wanted to complain about. What's his face? The like shadow assassin or black assassin, whatever he is.
Yeah. Did it imply that he fucked his own daughter? Because that was really weird.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about because I honestly was like speed reading through this, and also everyone at work was talking and like literally trying to get my attention and like just being annoying while I'm trying to read a book. But if you pay attention to his shirts, they always say something. They say what he's thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That didn't go fucking anywhere. I was like, oh, that's cool. Is he gonna have some type of weird power thing or whatever? But no, it was just to do that, just to do it. And then his shirt gets covered up by a vest eventually. And it's like, okay, that fun part that was a part of this character is gone now.
I don't think it was a magical t-shirt. I think that was Daniel Warren Johnson's typical funny action words that happen behind something that's happening. I mean, in that instance, it was used to express his intentions and thoughts, but it happens later in the book where it wasn't him, that it had the same writing and it was action words again. So I think I think that was on Daniel.
Well, what I'm saying is that I know that it's not a magical thing or whatever, but what I'm saying is that fun part is not there anymore after he puts on a fucking vest. We just don't see it when he's fighting people anymore. I'm like, okay, that's dumb. One part that I actually liked about this book is like gone. And there's one more. There was one more, and I cannot remember. Oh, there's this part where they're in the bar, It's main character and CIA lady, whatever the fuck she is, Beth. And then they are talking, and he insinuates that he's gay. What was that? Because that was never talked about again, and it also made it seem like did they just miss something? Was there a writing problem? Because it's like I reread it, and he said, "Please don't make a big deal about it." I'm like, okay, so he probably is gay, but they did nothing else with him. Like, why? That could have been something like they could have just added more on that, or like I don't know, had something a part of that in the story, and it would have been interesting. But just to have that there and then never do anything else with it annoys the shit out of me.
That was the thing in general that bothered me the most, more than not understanding entirely where the conspiracy angle was going, was the kind of key of the story is this weird interpersonal relationship between two different characters and then one of their recently deceased wife. I still don't entirely understand what the hell was going on there, because one of them is like it kind of implies that there would have been a thing, but there wasn't a thing. But is he gay? And it goes nowhere, and it doesn't. I don't like that's your emotional linchpin of the story, and it doesn't even make sense logistically. And I'm wondering what the fuck happened with that, because that was at least interesting.
And that's what I'm trying to say is that there was no could have been. It's just this guy. When you're partners with someone in that sense, you know your partner more than their wife knows your partner, type of thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gay for each other. What I'm trying to say, hold on, please don't interrupt me because I'm trying to get there. There was no connection to that because you can see how his buddy, the protagonist's friend, that he didn't insinuate anything. There's nothing. He's just a dude that's there. He's just like, this is my friend who's a part of this organization, and he's somehow helping me now for some reason, even though he shot me in the fucking face.
The thing with the wife, the dead wife, that really bothered me was it's kind of implied that something the three of them were like friends or whatever, and something happened and she died, and it's this weird, but like he's also having visions of her, so it's like implied guilt over something, and you can interpret that as like a precursor to him getting possessed and going crazy thing, but like I had no way to read that made any sense towards what it ended up being. It's like why is he seeing a dead person who it implies he feels guilty over? But like this is just him going a little kooky because his brain no worky because he got a bullet in it. Like it just does. It's a big dramatic ending to an issue, and then it's just like I don't know. He's kind of crazy. Like that's it. Just
it doesn't go anywhere.
There definitely was a lot of stuff either on the writing board or they had a lot of ideas, and then they never picked what they wanted to do.
When I say that this book, and I say that it's dog shit, and I dropped it off, I'm like, good luck, it's dog shit. What I meant was that this book ended up dog shit. It could have been better. And the reason why I'm so butthurt is because I see all the things that were good. It just didn't work out well, either because of deadline, not allowed, it's full issues, or whatever.
So it's just a good idea soup that doesn't, it turns into gruel because it doesn't do anything specific. I want to go back to artwork. There are so many cool action scenes, especially when the main character guy gets a sword. There were so many anime tropes. I'm just going to come right out and say it, where like you don't see the guy with the sword move and then everybody ends up in half, or the I think it's a tank gets cut in half and it's a full page and it's huge and it's crazy. It looks so cool. Just so many cool action shots that are awesome.
I do have to say,
the covers were fantastic too.
As much as I loved the whole katana thing, how he got it was from one of the captains of that army that was going after him. Just had a random ass fucking katana. Made no sense to me. As much as I love katanas and the main character having a katana, we didn't. It was stupid.
I like how a lot of the action had a direction too. So many times that like all of the lines on the page point in a direction. You can see something going from here to here, and it's very clear, and it makes it that much cooler.
Yes, it also makes it really easy to follow, like in a quick sequence of stuff. Whereas in later books, like for instance, Do a Power Bomb, because they're usually in such a small physical setting, you have to really convey what's going on, and he used like a lot of specific wrestling moves that I have no idea what they are, but like because of this taking place over a lot of physical geography, he can basically just go from left to right like consistently, which I think makes for very aesthetically pleasing panels as well.
I do love the art a lot. It is phenomenal. I know that even though I didn't really like the reading of the story, that I am using this as a book for reference on poses for my own artwork.
And even beyond the action, there were several times where he captured emotion really well. When Beth finds the main guy and is hanging out at the bar, there's a lot of emotions there just in her face that are unsaid. Or when the dirty rotten scoundrels throw the main guy's dog in a dog fight, you can see the fear in the poor lab's face, and it makes you feel all yucky inside.
Yeah, that's okay. My last complaint. I just had to get it out of my system. This book does that thing that I really, 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 really fucking hate, where it just lampshades how weird it is, and it doesn't actually say anything with it. The book is disgusting and gross, and there's like really weird stuff, and people die, and it's gory and whatever, and it's trying to be kind of fun about it, like Mad Max. Yeah, like it's over the top and gross, but it's supposed to be fun. And then they just kill the dog in the grossest way possible.
I was going to say that too.
And then the end of the book is like, wow, they killed the dog. That was a little extra. And it's like, fuck you for just lampshading your own retarded ideas instead of doing something with it. Like, why?
I can counter that. It said in the exit interview that they were planning to have the dog in the truck.
It's one of those things where it's like,
so then the joke about it was, after they'd already been cut, it's still a poorly timed joke, but
yeah, it's just weird because especially like the last page before the interview is like I think they called it a pinup. It's like it's like a fake main poster. It's like a little an idea bit, and it's clear like the dog is included. Everyone's on the page. All the main characters are on it. And whatever this book was going to be is way more interesting than what we got. It actually looks coherent, and it looks like something I would like a TV show or something. Whereas the tone even conveyed by the page is different than the rest of the book. I don't know where that went.
I just realized that they're hanging out with Jesus.
Yes,
I got confused because literally the main character and Jesus look exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. Like I think I mentioned it when we talked about Curse of the White Knight. Sean Murphy does this to a lesser extent, where he kind of lampshades. Oh, it might have been Tokyo Ghost actually, where he kind of lampshades his own ideas being incoherent. But I typically find it fine there because his books are a lot more irreverent in general, and they're also half of them are Batman books. Like where he's like, well, these guys don't actually know what the fuck they're doing. It's like I don't know. It usually comes across better because the whole book is kind of like that, where he's like, I'm throwing out a bunch of really big ideas and I'm not even really going anywhere, and my own views are kind of incoherent, so fuck it. Whereas this is like, I respect Donny Cates quite a bit, and this is weird coming from someone who had already been in the industry for a fair few years. But like, what happened to him during this book like time period? Because the new guy, Daniel Warren Johnson, is like kicking ass on all full cylinder, like all the pistons be firing. And then the guy who's not like an industry vet or anything, but like has a fair few books under his belt was he okay?
Yeah, like he's Daniel Warren Johnson was definitely the reason why this book probably has
made deadlines.
Yeah, definitely made deadlines, and also just like half decent because the art and his pacing is just so good. Even with the stuff that he's working with, he's like, I'm gonna at least make it look good.
Yeah,
he's just gonna look pretty.
The opening of the last issue. So they've already been axed and they've been told wrap up this whole story in one issue. It starts out with the writer and artist having a conversation, and there were a couple of good jokes in there that had me chuckling.
I actually really I liked that one. I also really liked the one where what's his face, our main protagonist, Miles, I think his name is like a bodyguard for those super weird cryptic white old men.
Yeah, the where he's like, oh yeah, I actually know this mercenary, but that the relationship goes nowhere. It's like, yeah, they're definitely doing sex stuff in there. Like that
was funny. I actually I actually like chuckled out loud. That was funny.
Yeah, it's like kind of setting up like a dynamic. It felt like a flashback on episode 3 of a TV show, and it's like, actually, look at this man, this antagonist. I actually have history with him, and then he just goes nowhere because he's there for a minute. He jumps out of a plane, sells them out, and dips. And it like, it's very, very frustrating. On the whole, meh. Yeah, meh. I don't know how this happened. Worst Donny Cates book I've read, to be honest.
So when I told you that this book wasn't going to be good, you told me doubt. How do you feel now?
I still think you jumped the gun really hard. Like, you jumped to you're just like, I swear, you could walk up to like a creator you like and just say to their face that you think their work is dog shit with no elaboration. And I think that's generally a bad tendency of yours, artistically speaking. I think it's a weird attitude to have towards someone who does art. There's a difference between having not even just harsh constructive feedback, but like, I don't like it. But it's like, you're kind of loading me in a weird spot where it's like, do you want me to just have a contrarian take and argue the whole time, even if I probably am going to agree with you? Like, I didn't like it that much, but I definitely liked it more than you did.
Actually, I disagree with you. I think that we both liked I'm pretty sure we agreed on like the same fronts in the entire book.
Yeah, no, I think all three of us did. I think it's just a matter of how much they matter.
Because I didn't say, so you're saying that about the art. I didn't say anything bad about the art. I just said the book's shit.
I said artist like,
yeah, but also I didn't say I like Donny Cates. You're the one that likes.
No, I know that, but you just said book is dog shit and then like fucking dipped. It's like, well, you were the one who suggested it for this week anyways.
Well, because I thought it was going to be like really fucking good because anything Daniel Warren Johnson is attached to is like really fucking good. But also most of the books that like are even existing are his own books. So
I'm waiting to say something.
Nanny boo boo.
I liked the pacing when I started the book. It's really, really fast paced. It really doesn't let up. And then, as we've already established, we got to the end and it was like, wow, so much wasted potential. I kind of think the pacing is a brainworm that you guys have too. It's you haven't mentioned it yet, but just with other things that we've watched or read, I would put $5 on that falling under one of your complaints too, is that it just moves so fast.
I mean, we did actually touch on the pacing.
You were more so talking about the pace of like panel to panel stuff though.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird. Like,
I think it's a common Donny Cates thing. That's what I love so
much
about the Venom run.
That is definitely true, which is actually weird because I kind of disagree with you on that front. I actually find even though the second half is going absolutely insane and has the most stupid decisions, I actually found the second half more interesting because the first half is just exposition, dump flashback, exposition, dump flashback, exposition. Like,
I completely agree with Spencer.
Like, yeah, the action is cool and whatnot, but like, I didn't know what to expect until like issue 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get the vibe here. And then when it actually just goes pedal to the floor, it's like, okay, I have to turn my brain off or I won't finish the book because I can't make it make sense. Versus in the first half, I'm still trying to like figure it out. I was expecting like, even if I wasn't going to like it, like a kind of coherent conspiracy or something. And I'm just like, wait, he didn't even know, did he? Did they know? Did they know? They don't know. They don't know.
My biggest complaint actually is the name. Because I feel like it's a waste of a good name on this book.
It's a good name.
It's such a good name.
It's a really cool idea,
yeah.
too. I kind of feel like they don't take it. Like, the action still kind of being car-centric or truck-centric is good in the second half, but like, it's not even
really about the ghost fleet.
It's about what's in the box. And like, that's fine. It's just, maybe if it was longer, it would have felt a little bit more truck-centric, but like, easy comparison, not because I just like comparing them, but like, Noctera, the book series that I'm reading from Scott Snyder, another one of those weird, dark, edgy things that's just exposition dumb crazy, but also has really good art. That's all about trucking. Like all of it is about people going through like, because the world is dark, like across the board, and there's a bunch of evil things and whatever, and they're all truckers. And that actually feels like it's about the fucking trucking. And then this is like, it's got a really cool fucking cover, and they use one truck.
So when I said Ghost Fleet, I was thinking like actual ghost shit happening, especially with like the cover. But I don't know. I got annoyed. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I finished. I'm like, damn, I wish they didn't use Ghost Fleet because I would have stolen that for sure.
Me. Moving on, maybe.
Unless Jacob's got anything more to say that we won't interrupt.
I want you guys to appreciate how much I sacrifice for this show.
Hold on, I know. It's because he had to buy the book digitally and he doesn't want to read it again. I'm putting money on this.
Well, you just lost money. I rented the book for free digitally. I am currently missing, as of right now, an Under Oath concert less than 5 miles away from where I'm staying.
He loves us.
And instead, I chose to go to a movie theater to watch Shazam 2 so that I could talk about it right now.
I think he should have just like left us in the dust and gone to the concert.
I thought he was going to, but that's his own choice.
Damn. You should honestly, for future reference, you should like not love us that much. Please don't.
I mean, if we go really, really fast, I might be able to leave, but no, it's not worth it. I've missed plenty of shows on this trip already. But it's going to factor into my review of Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods.
The movie lady.
So Collin's just going to dip out of this section entirely because he had no interest in watching the movie. So Shazam 2 is like 5 years later, and they're like, holy fucking shit, we're like teenagers and old and stuff. And then there's new characters who are the daughters of one of the gods that's in the name, the acronym Shazam. You should add a lightning sound effect every time we just to make the editing entirely unusable.
Yes, I'm a simp.
And then they're like, you children are not worthy of the power. And then Billy's like, Lamau, get owned, old bitch. And that's about it.
I'm gonna skip right to the end. This movie is really hit or miss. There were jokes that were funny and jokes that made me cringe really, really hard. And then there were pretty good effects sometimes, and then there were effects that looked awful. It's really kind of all over the place, but also basic at the same time. It's really hard to describe.
I do actually agree with you. I think I liked it a little bit more than you did, but I do agree. There's a lot of stuff.
I went into it expecting to hate it, but I came out like that actually wasn't all that bad.
No, it's definitely not in the upper echelon of the DCEU stuff, but like it wasn't. I don't know if my expectations are just so low because the recent movies across the board have been pretty bad, but like it was all right. And there's some parts about it that I did genuinely like. And yeah, there's a lot of parts of it that I didn't like. My biggest general complaint is Asher Angel as Billy is infinitely better than Zachary Levi is as Shazam. And I'm fucking pissed off that he had like 3 minutes of screen time because he sells all the emotional bits and then Levi just clowns in. Like he's funny to watch, but the two of them are on different wavelengths entirely, and it really bothers me.
There's no way to say this without you guys shitting on me.
Uh-oh.
It was distracting that one character played both the younger and older version. Because
this is the thing, Jacob. Collin, calm down. So there's two reasons for it. I agree, but I like it because Collin.
Sorry.
So it's because she's an adult now. Not Collin. Stop. The character is an adult, so thusly there is no like transformation, which tracks.
Okay.
It's implied by the movie.
They explain that very well then.
No, it's implied. There's some potential behind the scenes reasons that no one wants to talk about. But I actually like that, and I like that the thing that I liked the most out of that was they didn't push the family into the background of the movie, despite Levi getting way too much screen time in comparison to his much better younger counterpart. The family is still a very pivotal like aspect of it, and yeah, they kept all the same kid actors and most of the same adult actors, and they're all actually pretty good.
So wait, that doesn't make sense though, because Shazam himself is like less than 6 months away from turning 18, but his adult version is 30 something.
Okay, well that's just movies being retarded, but like I have some confidence in the fact that if they do continue with any part of this in the new DCU, I think they're just going to have Astro Angel play the adult version because holy shit, he's yoked as fuck. It's disgusting. He looks great.
It's so. Can I just add on to the Shazam thing? No, I'm not even going to talk about that. We already covered that. I wanted to say Booba. I already did it. But Shazam, yes, he may be 6 months old. Wow, 6 months from being like an adult or whatever. But the whole point of Shazam and all of those powers is that there's a couple things. Billy Batson becomes Shazam, and how he looks is how he imagines his father looks. And second, the way that he is, he's not an adult yet. So this is what he imagines himself looking like as an adult. So when he becomes adult, he won't look like that. He'll just look like him.
Every writer interprets it differently. So I think there's enough play with it with the movie. The thing with that,
I assume it's that because of how it works.
Yeah, that's I think the new 52 version of it. The thing that's really weird with that is like they talk about the fact that he clearly doesn't actually have the wisdom of Solomon because he's a fucking idiot. And like
I was about to bring that up too.
They lampshade that and then they don't do anything with it. And again, lampshading is my least favorite thing in the world because he like they don't have to play him like this. Like Levi has better range than this, and he like they're just in the first movie. I think it made sense because he was 14, and like now that he has big adult strong body, like he's kind of freaking out because he's like, holy shit, I can actually do stuff, despite the 14-year-old version being like, ooh, I'm too dark and edgy and broody. It's like, okay, on the inside, he actually wants to just do stupid shit. But like now, the disparity is huge, despite the age gap being smaller. Kind of, it doesn't track.
Also, despite all the complaints about the Joss Whedon version of Justice League, this movie still chooses to sexualize freaking what's her face as Wonder Woman.
A little bit. To be fair,
definitely.
though, there's one joke in this thing that made me die laughing, and it was when the wizard is doing a vision to Billy, and it's like a dream, and then Wonder Woman is there in the dream because he has a crush on Wonder Woman, and then it's the wizard's head on Wonder Woman's body. That I was fucking dying for that. Because the movie has this big meta joke about like the whole headless Superman cameo thing. So they're like, we're gonna do a headless Wonder Woman cameo, and then they keep putting around with that. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
There were a couple of jokes that I wasn't sure how to take. There's one that definitely laughs at what's his face, Freddy, like being handicapped, and then there's another one later when all the kids see the mom and dad in bed not wearing much, where one of them announces that they're gay, and like the whole theater laughed at that. It was like, are we laughing at these people because of how they are?
I laughed at that joke really hard because I thought the joke part, what I think the joke was constructing was like every other character is like, no fucking shit, we're not stupid. Like, I thought that was funny because the movie does set it up earlier, but like, I can't vouch for what the people in the theater were laughing about. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little all over the place, and I can't dislike it because I really like David F. Sandberg. Like, come on, he went from being a YouTuber to making Hollywood movies overnight. Like, the dude's really cool, but it's definitely a lesser product than the first one. I guess my last positive is I really like the stupid Dr. Sivana and Mr. Mind post-credit scene that's like, yeah, you thought we were going to do these guys this movie? Nah, fuck you. We're not even going to do it for the next movie.
I don't remember the first one very much at all. I just remember not liking it the first and only time I saw it. so I can't really compare it to the first one, but this one was, I don't know, decent.
It was alright. And I wish I could say more than that, but it was like fine. I got some chuckles, some of the action's okay. The unicorns eating the Skittles bit was funny.
Boba.
There was a lot of egregious product placement in this.
I do agree with that.
The adult lady that plays the youngest kid. I don't remember the character.
Darla, the adult version.
Yes. Seemed really handicapped by the character she was playing. She seemed to be mimicking the child version too much.
I guess. I don't even know how to feel about that one because, like, I mean, when it comes to like she's like 13 tops, I can't really imagine a 13-year-old girl magically getting superpowers and not kind of acting the same. Like the point of that child character is that she's kind of just having a good time. Like she's somehow healthier in the brain than everybody else, and she's just vibing. So it kind of makes sense. But I mean, yeah, the older actress is like 42 or something. She definitely has more range than like playing a literal child.
Right. I don't know. I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, and I was pretty happy with where it fell in comparison to other movies I've watched this year. So,
yeah, I think I definitely gave it higher, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. I like the new outfits; they do be drippy.
That was something. I like the practical lighting in the lightning bolt of their suit. It was very, very good, and it was used quite often. There were quite a few times where the characters walked into a dark room and all you saw was the soft light in their chest emblem. It was pretty cool.
I agree. We're gonna need to end it here, but I think we're done.
I went to a new theater to watch this, and I had a hard time seeing the movie, and there weren't a whole lot of lights in the theater, but I don't know if you had the same thing or no.
No, mine was fine. Maybe the projection, the projector on yours was kind of getting old.
Interesting. Yeah, it was very dark and hard to see, even in like bright daylight shots. So
mine was fine.
Struggled with that. Okay. I gotta go change my laundry over.
Father, have you finished washing your panties?
They're in the dryer right now. So the beer before Shazam was $10.50. The cider during Shazam was $9.75, and the cost of admission was $22.50.
What the fuck, dude?
And I'm missing an Under Oath concert, so that might have affected my review a little bit.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah, I
got in for free, and I didn't drink during it.
I was considering making it a double feature because I want to see Scream and John Wick 4, but at $22.50 a ticket, no thank you.
Jeez, that's like going to an IMAX place around here.
And it wasn't even a good theater. It was poorly lit.
Rip.
When is John Wick 4 coming out?
It's out. I've already watched it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh my, fuck you. You went to watch it?
Yeah.
And you didn't. Wow. Fuck you. You didn't even tell me. You were even like, hey, let's go watch this movie. No, you're just going to drag me. Okay, fine.
Collin, do you know how many movies I watch a year?
Yeah.
At
That
least
to me all
in the
time.
year that I'm watching them.
Yeah.
Like-
you could have invited me.
We
Could have bought you
Collin.
food.
just went out like last week.
Collin.
So? I would have seen fucking John Wick 4. Are you kidding me?
He's so upset.
I am.
Collin.
Are you kidding? We go see Creed and we go see 65 and we have like such a good time. And I get to see him yell at someone in the theater and he just doesn't invite me to John Wick.
Collin.
I'm not seeing Barbie with you.
Yeah, that's a lie.
You
That's
have
the
lost
whole gang,
Barbie
buddy.
privileges.
Yeah, because you did that to me.
We hadn't made an arrangement to go
No,
watch
but you
John
did
Wick
that
4.
to me. How dare you?
We already
We're
have
best
an
friends and
arrangement.
you went to see John Wick 4 without me.
Bitch, I watched like 100+ movies.
That doesn't make you
I
can't
watched
get yourself
4
out of
movies
this.
this
You
weekend.
can't you can't get yourself out of this. You owe me a John Wick 4 date.
Wow.
I mean, I'm paying.
Do you
are
know
sick.
how many
okay.
times
You like
he
it.
has not gone to a movie with me because I don't go opening night? That's just how he rolls.
You went opening night?
2 days after opening weekend.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I didn't go Thursday night.
No,
I
'cause
intend
it
to
was-
go Thursday night.
Fuck you.
Look at little Iron Boy Jr. You gonna cry?
Eat my ass.
He's pouting so hard.
Wow.
Collin, please.
This is genuinely upsetting me. It's fucking stupid and gay. No, wow. You knew how much I wanted to see that movie, and you didn't go see it with me.
Did you ask me to go? No.
You didn't ask me to go. So I didn't know it was going to come out. You're my guy.
Why am I always
Guy.
why am I always the top in this relationship?
You're not always the top. In
I am literally always the top. I
No,
have to
you're
arrange every date,
No, you're not.
every date, every outing. I have to arrange.
I have autism.
I'm gonna do
Howdy,
my
bitch,
review
baby.
now.
Tell us about the new episode of The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
If I'm gonna be honest, not much really happens until like the end of it, almost like last episode.
Mandalorians are teaching younglings how to Mandalorian until one youngling Mandalorian gets kidnapped by a dragon
Ragnar.
thing, and Mandalorians go and kill it and save the youngling. I'm
Yep.
trying to use like the same couple buzzwords because it's pretty basic.
Grogu gets PTSD attack while Grandma Mandalorian is trying to teach him ways of Mandalorians, and we got one of the best what's the right word? Not homage. We got one of the best things to happen in Star Wars. We had a reappearance of an actor play a lead role as the Jedi who saved Grogu. The man who played Jar Jar Binks, the man who was going to kill himself because of all the hate mail and death threats that he got after playing Jar Jar Binks, returned in a triumphant way and played a fantastic Jedi saving Grogu.
Okay, I have to say the discourse on this particular thing is incredibly weird.
It's weird.
I think it's nice. He did great. There's people, non-specifically, I saw a bunch of things like, dang, look at this redemption arc. It's like, motherfucker, he was fine.
It's not a
Like,
redemption.
he didn't have to redeem himself. You guys nearly bullied him into like dying. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's fucked up. There's no redemption arc. It's a
sorry, that was George Lucas being fucking weird. That's a George Lucas problem. That's
yeah,
not the actor's
George.
problem.
Yes, that's a George Lucas problem, and now we have him being a good character, something that he actually deserves.
He did pretty good. I also like the bit. A mental note I had was that the clones in that sequence
Mhm.
were also all CG like the prequels.
Yeah.
Unlike the flashbacks in Obi-Wan, which were practical, which I liked because it was cool that like they're like, wow, this is what clones actually look like in real life.
Yeah.
But it was like very prequel in line. Wow, look at these polygons.
I kind of like the CG clones. It's mainly just because of nostalgia's sake.
Yeah.
But I really loved his robes. He had like nice fancy robes on the top. Like
He was
the
drippy.
collar. He was very drippy for a Jedi, and I was like, damn.
I don't remember if I said this on air, but I know we talked about this like last week. What the fuck is it with black people in Star Wars being the drippiest people?
They
on the
are the
planet?
drippiest.
I feel like
aspire to be them.
I feel like it's actually really weird that they make all the black guys have a lot of chains and capes and cool shit and stuff. That feels really weird, but also they look great.
Yeah, it does feel really weird.
It just
but
feels a little weird.
I think at this point it's okay.
It's fine. It's just a weird, like, I feel like you're trying to compensate and you're making it worse,
Mhm.
actually. But no, that sequence was nice. It felt a little long, to be honest,
I
but
was okay with it.
it's fine. Actually think this is the best episode of the season so far.
Now that you remind me of stuff, there's a lot of scenes that were actually a lot of my favorite. I want to hear from Jacob.
No, that was pretty much it. The whole youngling saving thing was boring.
I think
Disagree.
you're gay.
I think you are also wrong, gay sir.
Okay.
So,
There's a factual error where they're standing in the nest with all the dried wood and twigs and stuff, and then they fire off their jetpacks and the nest didn't burn down. 0 out of 10, worst episode ever.
all right, that tracks. So this isn't a great episode, but this actually, out of the 4, this felt far more like the first season than anything else.
I like
it
that we
was
got
its own adventure.
I like that we got more like Mando words and like the Mandalorian lore and culture.
It was just a little thing. It was, oh look, the Mandalorian is going to go punch a big bird in the head, because that's what most of the first season was like. And now he go fight the big hoppy frog, and even in season 2, it was like, and now he gets his ass kicked by spiders. Like I like that.
How long before somebody tries to kill Grogu by shooting him and his chest plate saves him?
Definitely by the end of the season. I'm gonna say by the mid-season mark.
So that's what, 2 episodes from now?
Next week.
Yeah, within the next 2 episodes.
That's
I have a strong feeling.
Too.
I don't know. There's some things in this that felt kind of weird that it's hard to kind of nail down. I liked the general premise, and I thought it was executed fine. I thought it was actually shot pretty well in comparison to the other episodes. The Grogu jumping looked like ass, but that's expected because I think they did actually fucking move the puppet. So I give them props for making the puppet jump, but also, man, that looks bad.
I'm okay with it looking like ass.
It's fine. It's partially the whole, nobody liked it when Yoda started flipping unless you were a child. And now we know that they can do that. So, it's kind of stuck in the brain, but also he's a little frog boy in a big robe. So it's going to look retarded anyways. I thought it was entertaining. Like the little sequence was entertaining. It just was kind of weird. This was the episode that was directed by Carl Weathers, so I actually thought, in comparison to the previous 3, it looked the most consistent. The outdoor lighting, I actually thought was handled fairly well. These shows in particular, especially Boba Fett, the like outdoor in sand dunes like lighting is always pretty bad, and this actually felt like there was a decent amount of depth to it. I'm the biggest bird. You got the big bird babies. I love it.
That was funny. I love the mommy and daddy Mandos.
They're adorable.
Going on. It's like, no, don't look at me. Look at him. You do your thing. Show them how tough you are. And then mom's just like, he's just doing this because he's proud of you.
That was
my father did this too. And it's like, oh my gosh, how could you not ship these two? Are you kidding me?
It's very cute. There is something about I don't know if I'm supposed to find it funny or not. The armor made the emblem to be put onto a piece of armor, and it is Grogu's entire chest plate. But it's not made to be a chest plate. It's just a big fucking medallion hanging around his neck, basically. And I really hate how that looks.
I hate it too.
I don't know if it's supposed to be funny because it's kind of played in a dramatic moment, and I think that's weird. But on the flip side of that, the sequence with Bo in the armory getting a new shoulder pauldron.
Yeah.
And I think, so the new one that she got, she has the mythosaur, the universal, she's like, she getting back in touch with her roots. She's getting I don't remember what the fuck it's called, the big meaty, the rhino boy from, the stupid, what is it, the mudslag, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
That's what the other one's going to be. I'm calling it now. She's getting like the family friend. Yeah, that's about it. She's gonna get
broke up really bad, so I missed what she's gonna get.
So the second shoulder is gonna be Mando and Grogu's symbol. I don't remember. It's like the creature from episode 2 or 3. I don't remember the name of it.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me tap into the Force.
Oh my gosh.
Let me think. The Force of History, and it was called it had to have been started with a T or something.
Oh,
hold on.
Goodness. I like that they didn't jump the gun on that. To her just immediately, damn, look at them getting their wedding rings.
It starts with the M. It's called a mud horn.
I was close.
You were.
I like that they're pushing. It's going more towards her getting more in touch with different Mandalorians, and then they're gonna ship them really hard.
Yes,
I like that. It's not gonna be all sorted out too quickly, but I continue to stand by this season so far has been more enjoyable than like the second half of season 2, but I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with this thing, because this is the 4th episode out of this is episode 4.
Oh
wait, no, this is the mid-season. I'm stupid. I thought, holy shit. My point even stands even more. Where the fuck are we going this season? What the fuck is the point? If they're gonna serialize it, what's the end goal? Where are we going? Very frustrating. I thought
redemption arc for Mando, and now what?
Yeah, like that. I would have done that longer, but we know this. But like
Also, what about more space pirate stuff?
yeah, that really did feel like setup, and they haven't done anything with that yet. Is that just going to be the second half of the season or something? Like this is for being an 8-episode. I forgot. My brain was telling me 12. They're 8-episode seasons. What the fuck are they doing with this? Because every episode is kind of pulling it in a different direction, even though the first 3 are kind of all connected. What? I'm just confused, really.
A lot of flashbacks too. You had
Yeah.
evil doctors, Imperial doctors last episode. You've got Grogu's flashback this episode.
So,
Ick.
ever since 2019, we've been shown Order 66 over and over again.
Oh, you're gonna do the meme. You're gonna say you're gonna ask the question.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying that ever since 2019, we've seen Order 66 happen every single year.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you saying
Trauma.
you've had enough of it?
No, I'm just saying it's kind of funny that they just bring it back every year. Like, hey, remember this? Remember this? This happened.
Wow, Lucasfilm doesn't actually have a new direction they want to go in, and they keep revisiting things because they have no other ideas.
Wow.
Because they're safe. Who would have thunk? Didn't they cancel 5 new movies this week and then they reassess? Yeah, wow. Who would have thunk?
I forgot that Dr. Pershing like got his ear like shotted at
Yeah.
in season 2.
Yeah.
And apparently people are saying that he has a nervous tick whenever he lies and he touches his ear. And you can see that from when he first lies to the droid about everything being fine. And that's when he goes and starts stealing stuff.
Yeah.
So if you backtrack, there's a lot of things that apparently he's lying about.
Okay, I hate body language people because they're all retards. It's just a nervous tick.
I know.
That's it. It's not a specific. It's just a nervous tick, and it is played really heavy-handedly, which I don't appreciate because it's like in like the opening scene of they push in and they're like twitching. It's like holy fucking shit. Let it be subdued, but whatever.
I wish you wouldn't interrupt me every single time I'm literally about to get to my fucking point. Because you make me sound fucking stupid. Because I'm right about to get there. I'm about to say, I don't think that's it. I think it's a nervous tick. And you're like, so please think about that. Fucking laugh.
I read Swamp Thing Green Hell volume or issue number 3. It concludes Swamp Thing Green Hell. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of cool things in the art. Swamp Thing spends all of his green energy and becomes skinny until he gets reinforced and he becomes big chunky boy. Constantine is pretty freaking cool. I enjoy how he was written. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of weird. I need to reread the whole series again, like back to back to back, to see if I'm missing something. But I don't think so. It just kind of wrapped itself up and said, well, there you go. $7.
That's really weird because I remember you reviewed the first issue, especially very highly, and then obviously long
the second
break.
one as well.
That's just really weird, especially for like a 3-issue book. That like
I don't really know what I was expecting. There was just no great big wow twist. It was just they fight and Swamp Thing says stuff about the parliaments and that's it. It just felt like big fight and the end.
That's what a couple of the Black Label books have felt like that are the 3 or 4 issue ones is like they have a really neat premise, but because whatever reason they have such a short issue count, they kind of just paint by numbers once you get past the initial premise.
Like I said, I don't really know what I wanted. It just didn't feel like it had a payoff, I guess. So that's it. Fastest review ever.
Green Come.
Damn, Green Come Becoming.
Collin, what'd you read?
I read Hellboy in Love issue 3.
Yes.
If I'm going to be honest, It wasn't. There's not like a lot of big stuff that happens yet, and it's kind of strange since it's 5 issues. But also, bear with me. I read this also in front of my coworkers, and they were also still annoying me and trying to get my attention and shit. So this isn't going to be the best review. All I'm going to say is that Hellboy and what's her face that he's like flirting with, or she's flirting with him real hard, and he just gets flustered a little bit. She's calling him handsome and shit, and she's like, "Oh, you're trying to get me back to your room?" And he's like, no, you just wanted to leave. You told me you wanted to leave." And he's like, we go over here to bar." And she's like, "Oh, did I get you flustered?" And I'm like, "Ha, big red man getting redder," and that's cute and it's fun. I'm having fun reading this, and I think that they're going to go on another type of adventure type of thing. But basically, one of the professors that actually sent called the BPRD to send someone to protect her. I can't remember her name, but protect the archaeologist or discoverer. She's basically Indiana Jones type of thing, person. And they sent Hellboy, and he didn't know that they're going to send Hellboy, and the professor meets up with her during this like ball that's happening, and she brought Hellboy with her, and he's like, "I think he's a bad influence on you," and blah blah blah. And then basically he calls Hellboy's dad, Broom, and he's like, "Oh, be a good lad and come back. I got a mission for you." It's like, actually, I'm taking a sabbatical with my girlfriend, so fuck you, Dad. I'm doing this. And then Broom's just like, "That's new." And after hanging up the phone, so Hellboy's hanging out with his redhead girlfriend. I love it.
How many issues is this supposed to be? Is
5.
It,
So I don't know where it's going.
5? Who the fuck does 5 issues?
I don't know.
Weird.
It is weird. So I don't know where it's going. And I don't know what's going to happen to them, because obviously she doesn't end up anywhere in the book.
Sadness.
Yeah, because she's not Alice.
That's weird.
Yep.
I think I'm actually gonna dip. Doors open in 10 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Good luck. Don't die.
Okay. I'll try not to.
Good luck staying out late.
Goodbye.
Hey, bang.
Yeah.
So I watched Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons, which was an animated movie.
I thought you already saw that.
No. I mean, I watched it a while ago, but I didn't.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
talked
talk
about that during a happy hour.
I don't even remember if I did, but
Not like a review. You just talked about
I
it.
just mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was released last year, and it is the first DC animated movie that is fully 3D, and I don't like it. So this is an adaptation of one of my favorite like period comic book runs. The Peter J. Tomasi and I believe Patrick Gleason did the art of Super Sons stuff, where it's Jonathan Kent, Superboy, and Damian Wayne, Robin, just being boys and doing dumb boy shit and saving their dads a bunch and doing bonding and stuff. It's one of the best periods of like modern DC comics. And this movie is like incredibly mid and very paint by numbers, and also it looks like shit. I'm disappointed more than I am like angry, because I went from the first trailer. I went, "Oh, they're doing a 3D. Oh, ew." So aesthetically speaking, the designs, the costumes are really cool. I actually really like Jonathan Kent's like Superboy hoodie look. I like that. It's cool. But the animation is 3D models. It's like, it looks like Ruby. It's got that 3D, but they paint on some shells to do the hard lines. And then they cut the frame rate down really low, so it kind of looks like a comic book. I hate that aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't
And
like it.
the back, because it's all 3D rendered, the backgrounds are incredibly empty. There's like no people. It's very still. It looks like a 2008 Flash game that I could play in the Unity engine on my computer. Just not a good aesthetic. Never liked it, and I don't like it here. For being in comparison to the other DC animated movies, this one's really expensive. It's like double the budget, and it looks worse than all the other ones. Even the really generic Jim Lee New 52 designed movies, even those look better than this. I don't know what they were going for. It's really overly lit. There's no dynamic lighting except some bits, but whatever. The Justice League is a thing, of course, and then the Justice League gets taken over by like Starros, and then the boys are like, the fuck is up with our daddies? And then they go do a thing. It's mostly about Jonathan Kent discovering that his dad is Superman and him getting powers, and nice father-son bonding moments like, oh, that's why you're always leaving my baseball games and shit. It's just parental drama, which I like. There's one review of this which I thought was really funny. Letterboxd reviews are really memey, and someone just said white Damian jump scare, and I tend to agree. Please stop making Damian white. It's dumb and stupid. I don't know. It's fine. Like, it was inoffensive, but for a really good comic run, this is pretty disappointing. For that, there's some bits with Crypto the Superdog which are fun because you have to go to like the Fortress of Solitude for reasons. Damian Wayne is a dick. Duh. He treats John like shit, but then at the end of the movie, they're like buddies because of course they are. I don't know what this. It's just the voice cast is okay. It's what's his name? Jack Dylan Grazer or whatever the fuck his last name is. The Stranger Things kid who's in Shazam. That kid. Hold on. The fuck is it? Shit, what's his name? Come on, every time I close it, I need it. Yeah, Jack Dylan Grazer. He's fine as Jonathan. I didn't know it was him until I looked up the cast list, so I guess that's a positive. It's your usual Troy Baker being generic Batman. Troy Baker is very underutilized in most of his Batman roles. He's really good, and they just don't. His Joker is pitch perfect, though. I don't know. It was just fine. Like, there's nothing here that I haven't seen before. And it was short and sweet in the sense that it's a short animated direct-to-VOD movie. But, like, that was it. Like, I was drinking this whole time. I wasn't even wasted. I just cranked out, like, 4 beers and had a pizza because there was nothing else to stare at. The animation feels cheap and chintzy. The story is basically the same as the comics, except they make it movie-ified. Yeah, just not a fan. Not a fan. The only thing I really liked was John gets upset because he's like freaking out. Holy shit, I have powers. What the fuck's going on? And then, Clark is running after him because he's like, I got to go talk to my son. And then John hides in the barn. And then this is the same as basically as it happened in the comic. And he's like shouting to his son. He's like, hey, I know you're upset and freaking out. It's fine. I just want to talk to you. And he's like, no, I don't want to talk to you, Dad. You don't understand. And then this motherfucker puts on the Superman suit and then just floats up to his son and is like, I kind of do, though. And that's great. That stuff is really, really, really nice. I've said this 1,000 times. Making Superman a dad was the best decision DC's ever made. Because that's really what I
stand with you on that. Yeah, for sure. Of course, the best man on earth being a dad. Of course, it would work.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so wholesome. He's understanding. And just another. He's growing. He's raising a child who has his powers, and he's like, you don't understand, Dad. And it's like one of the very few dads that actually understands.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really good demonstration of the fact that even though there are difficulties there, yes, the perfect man basically still has difficulties as a dad. It doesn't mean he's a bad dad. And it's one of those things that's like, I can imagine this is incredibly validating to read as a kid who up to a certain point, you kind of view your dad as Superman. And then the flip side of it, of like being a parent and being like, I'm going to fuck up my kid. And it's like, even the perfect guy still makes some mistakes. And right. And it feels like that's something that if I was on the other side of, if that ever happens one day, that would feel very nice on that side too. That was about it. It's just like fine, and the animation just really it's very upsetting to me, honestly. I'm not like ride or die on if a movie looks horrible, I can't watch it. But like I just was watching it. I'm like, this came out in 2022. Just why?
Why are we back? Why are we like what's the word I'm looking for? Backtracking back?
Yeah, something like that.
Why aren't we falling back into like shitty stuff?
Yeah, like
why aren't we like just going further, like beyond?
Right. Like I understand why like 3D models aren't usually actually used because you can save money doing that. Because if you know how to paint them correctly, anime does this all the time. If you know how to paint them right and frame them right, they look fine. And hand drawing stuff is a pain in the ass and expensive. But like, not here. They're stiff and lifeless. The lip movements barely track to the voices. They just, yeah.
Sometimes that shit actually works better than drawing it in my brain. Like, so the only example I can really give perfectly is Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yes.
Not the Clone Wars, Clone Wars in 2003, where the ARC Trooper ship comes in like the second half. Like technically it's the second episode, but second half of the whole movie. And you can tell it's an animated thing, but I'm like, that is like perfectly in line with the whole animation. How the fuck did they do that? And I see animated stuff that like vehicles driving in or doing stuff. I'm like, but this was perfect. So it works. It can work. It's just, it's either it's to do with the art style or you just aren't doing it right.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the purpose here. It didn't provide some unique avenue. It wasn't like character specific or very useful to demonstrate the powers at hand. It just felt like they wanted to make it quickly, even though they spent more money on it than they usually do.
Yes.
So that just doesn't, it making no sense. I liked this less than Catwoman Hunted because at least that had tits in it, and there were some bits of it that were vaguely aesthetically pleasing because it was actually an anime, even though I didn't really like it that much.
Right.
I ranked them the same, but this one doesn't get a heart from me. The other one was bad, but it got a heart from me because titties, even though it was bad. They're like the same. Man, last year for DC anime movies was rough. The three of them, there's two that are like bad, and then there's one that's like fine.
Yes.
That was rough.
Yes. I'm trying to find something that I did watch. I'm trying to find what I did watch.
That's fine. Look at that. Perfect time. Look at that. Oh, wow. It's fine.
Okay.
I have no transition.
Well, thanks for listening, viewers, people across the country.
And the world. We have like one listener in Australia.
Continents. You from down under are probably listening to all of this backwards. I can't even make the joke.
No, they're listening to it upside down.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't it be back? Oh no, upside down's worse than backwards. It's unintelligible.
So that's why they talk funny. Yeah.
So do they have to like flip the phone upside down to listen properly to us?
No, that's when they flip the phone around the other way. So the phone.
That's so much stupid inception right there.
A big thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/dimecomicbros network. Caitlin and Jeff Lorenz, if you want to help support this show financially, as well as just be our little Robins, you can go over there and give us money. There are a bunch of different tiers with some different rewards. You get stickers, sketches done by Collin, commissions done by Collin, early access to this podcast, as well as our second podcast, Dime Gaming Bros, as well as exclusive segments like Happy Hour, which we do after every podcast, where we crack open a beer, talk about random bullshit. It's usually incoherent. I do what I can. There's usually another thing, but I don't remember any words. Words are dumb and stupid. Go give us money, please, and thank you. It's very appreciated. Also, a thank you to our to our partners over at Jetpack Comics and Games in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. Over at the Mega Store, they have all of the nerd stuff you could need, and if they don't have it in stock, they'll buy it for you, and then they'll give it to you. You can even buy your comics through them, and they will ship it to you, so you don't have to go to the store. Support your local comic book shops, people. It's good for all of us, and they appreciate it. Like we appreciate Jetpack Comics. Next week is the news. More Mando. I think that's it. Kind of a normal week.
It will be a normal week.
Jacob's coming back not soon. Jacob, come home.
So we can play D&D.
I just wanted to suck his dick. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to do that in D&D. Dude, in D&D, you guys are just going to be flirting with me anyways as
true.
The DM.
This is true.
I have a very good idea of what's going to happen. But I can't tell any of you guys about it. I can't.
Good.
Don't ruin it. But you'll pick up on it.
Oh, I'll pick up what you're putting down.
You will.
Which is,
I think it's Fleet.
Fleet. Yes.
Wait, say being dumb. Never mind.
Yes. No, it's the ghost feet, of course.
Yes,
they just leave mysterious footprints everywhere.
Hey, remember this? Remember this? This happened.